And we look like we're heading to extra time, but there's still 5 minutes to play here, Mark. And by all means, there could be more chances. Still in the box, and it's another goal!
Chrissy Pendergaris and Lane Comets have taken the lead.
There, and it gets us another chance, West Adelaide. They could be winning this championship with minutes to go. And it's still Joyce and Carney. It's unbelievable, David, as well.
Hobbs wasn't able to capture it. It's in. It's not the one that seals up the Atletico promotion.
The wait is finally over. It is opening night of the RAA NPLSA for 2026. We start the season right here with the reigning champions after a historic grand final victory in their 75th year. Croydon FC are back under the lights tonight and are out to prove that the fairy tale wasn't a one-off and a back-to-back title charge is well and truly on the cards. By standing in their way is a side with a point to prove. Parah Hills Knights survived by the slimmest of margins after the late season drama last year. Tonight, they aren't just here to participate, they're here to make a statement that they belong in the top flights. 3 vital points are on the line. To kickstart these 2 campaigns, will the champions defend their turf or will the Knights spoil the party? I'm Johnny Kecko. It's great to have your company here tonight for this big opening round between Croydon FC and Parah Hills Knights. Alongside me is a man who was a part of the action in that final drama for the Parah Hills Knights. Simon Jimenez, good to have you, mate, and how excited are you to have the round 1 here tonight?
Good to be back, absolutely stoked. It seemed like it's been a long pre-season, but blink and it's here already. It was a little bit daunting a bit of a while away, but we're here now, we're ready to start again.
Let's talk about those last moments as well. As we get ready for this big game, both of these 2 teams had crucial last-moment goals to really decide their fate last year. Croydon is that big one. They're the champions. They scored 2 goals in that game. One of those very late to get the winner before going, well, without having to go to extra time. Big win there for them. Andre Cole, who's not with the club anymore, but that was an amazing end to round out a 75th year.
Yeah, I think it's important to say as well that Croydon were the unlikely champions, you have to say, going into the season. Late drama, as you said, because leading into the 90th minute, Croydon were leading 1-0. It looked like they were going to take that lead into full time until Metro scored, locking it up. We thought for a second we were going to have extra time, but no, just a minute later, as you said, Andre Carl found the ball with his head, and thanks to some lovely service from Pasir John, who used some fancy footwork, got a cross off and put him into the history books.
Yeah, history books, absolutely. And they're looking to make a back-to-back this year. They haven't done that in their history. The closest they've got to was 1 year gap in between 2 championships. So this is the year they're hoping. I think 25-26 has a really good ring to it, but it all sort of kick off here tonight. We'll have to find out soon, though. But let's talk about Parah Hills Knights, a team that I think a lot of people predicted to get relegated last year. And it wasn't until the very last kick of the game, pretty much, that they scored the equaliser, an unlikely equaliser, against the exact same team, Metro Stars. A 4-4 draw.
Yeah, that might have been my most dramatic few moments for the whole year. But yeah, Parah Hills didn't know their relegation fate heading into round 22, but they needed to get at least a draw, but do it against the league premiers, Metro Stars, who had locked it up weeks before. In the 90th minute in that game, Metro Stars led 4-2, but somehow Parah Hills managed to get 2 back. And it was Gloria Manda that managed to get that final goal, and some late drama that set off some scenes at the paddocks. It was really exciting. And, of course, sending their closest rival from down the road, Modbury, down to State League 1 as well. Yeah, so I was down to that Modbury game, a lot of drama down there, and I remember they scored a goal which I thought they saved themselves, but then their rivals, Parah Hills, got the job done to save themselves. They're back now
they'll definitely want to prove themselves. That in the off-season, we'll talk about, we can talk about it as much as we can, but it's just Parah Hills Knights haven't really, well, from what we've seen in the off-season, haven't really strengthened their squad as much. A lot of outs, but they've got a lot of ins from other leagues and also brought a few up as well.
Yeah, I think I had a bit of a chat to one of the assistant coaches before. He said, maybe they're not the favourites going into this, but it also makes them unpredictable as well. Teams don't really know what to expect, and that can be dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see how to go tonight. It's a good indicator to see first game, but we'll find out soon enough. It's not long away till we have kickoff down here. But let's talk about this season's kicking off. This is round 1. This is only the first game, but we've got 5 more to go tomorrow, pending weather, because there's a big storm about to come. And we'll find out how those matches go. But right now, we'll just talk as if it's going to happen. But let's just talk about the Australian Championship. I think that just changed the dynamic, hasn't it, of this league now, because we saw Metro Stars get it. The unknown was there. They've done it. It's known now. And I think Adelaide City are probably the ones that are going to be favourites to really want to get there.
Yeah, Adelaide City would love to do it. They're trying to gear up to do that. I know Croydon would love to do it. But I think once every other club saw Metro play in the Australian Championships, that's probably what made them think, I really want to be there. We want to show what we can do on the national stage. But it's a bit of a strange thing here in Australia where the grand final champions are the champions of the league. But that also means that because only the top, the premier of the league can get passage into the Australian Championships, that makes that really important as well. And from SA, you can't buy your way into that league. You have to be the one SA team at the top to get your passage onto the national stage there.
Absolutely, and we know Adelaide City have wanted to get there. But now let's talk about the top of the table, but from State League 1. Last year we had the Cert Lions, who are back now in the NPL this year alongside West Adelaide. What a grand final saw those two teams play each other, and just making that grand final is what got West Adelaide promoted. But Sturt, though, convincing win in their first year under John Fusco.
Yeah, they ran away with it in the end. And that very game, the grand final, if that's anything to go by, they're going to bring a lot of excitement as well. So I know West Adelaide picked up a lot of higher profile NPL players. Sturt kept a little bit more tight-lipped. I know that on their social media they were talking a lot about the players that they picked up, but I had a little bit of a sneak peek at the team sheet, and they've got some very good young names in there as well.
Absolutely, and West Adelaide as well. They've lost Cudon, who scored 13 goals out of their 26 games. He's actually playing here at Croydon now as well, so it's big in for them alongside O'Dowdy as well. So they've lost a few players, but they've also brought in just a few. So there's only a few changeovers for Croydon, which will be interesting. But let's take a quick look, because tomorrow there are big games happening in the league. So let's have a quick chat about the other 5 fixtures to happen as well. But I think the 2 key ones to look at is that rivalry that's back. It's West Adelaide, Adelaide City. We love that rivalry. I was part of that first game when they made the return to the NPL a couple of years ago. It's back now. It's at Adelaide City Park. How excited are you to see this back on the
Very excited, and I think we've been talking about a lot of nostalgia, especially with the Australian Championship and all those former national stage teams that have been playing. Now we get our little Adelaide version of it, bring back a bit of an old NSL derby feel with Adelaide City and West Adelaide. West Adelaide, of course, have the new grounds at Cudon as well. It's going to be great to see NPL games there. Yeah, well, and the other big one as well is Battle of the Italians. We love the Italian derby, Metro, Campbelltown City. This is going to be a big test, because last year it was the opening match, because Campbelltown got to choose who they played, and it was Metro Stars. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be an interesting clash. There's a little bit of stuff that's going on in the background, but for this game here, Campbelltown definitely want to kickstart the season on the right foot this time around. Yeah, I think Campbelltown want to have a bit of a stronger start to this season, just to make up for maybe a little bit of disappointment last year. And Metro, as you said, little bit of mystery around what's happening off the field there at the moment as well. They'll absolutely be expecting to get a strong start. What other fixtures are you keeping a close eye on this weekend? Playford and Adelaide United will be interesting as well. Playford, I think they made a really good account of themselves last year for their first year back in the NPL. But Adelaide United, we don't really know who's going to be in that team. There's so many players that have been playing up in the A-League, so many young players making a big difference. God, if they're going to be playing back in the NPL, they're going to be a real worry. Yeah, absolutely. It'll be interesting times, especially with the A-League finishing up very soon. Always gets exciting. Also keep a keen eye on Sturt in the NPL once again. You never know what to expect this round. And also, I think the Comets Burkalla one will be very interesting as well. So Burke's a bit of crossover there, former coach at now Comets, and then Comets former players now at Burke's as well from last season, and I'm sure it's going to be a fiery one. Yeah, well, there was. I had a bit of a look at the list for Berks yesterday and getting ready for the game there tomorrow. West Torrens Bacalla have a very experienced list, let's say, and a lot of them are old Comets players that have won the trophies with Comets, won the individual accolades as well, and now they brought their experience to West Torrens Bacalla. They had last season to get into the mode, build the team, and this might be a year that they can do something bigger again.
Absolutely. It's all exciting. I love this time of year. It's back. We enjoyed the off-season, but it's always great when the season's back in full swing. We've got this league kicking off tonight. We've got other leagues kicking off as well, which is exciting this weekend. And then by next week, we'll have all the rounds back for 2026. Well, round one of the area NPLSA is kicking off very, very soon. Don't go anywhere. On the other side of this break, we'll have kickoff for you right here on the FSA Leagues.
A-League experience.
Here's Polly with a lovely through ball to Trimboli. Trimboli chasing it, goes out left. Sorry to interrupt you there, Simon. Ball comes back to Trimboli, he receives it again, he looks up. He thought about the cross with the left foot, didn't fancy it. And it goes out off Jackson Merritt. Croydon just content to play a little bit of possession football. Balmapor with it now. Back out to James Polly. Polly on his left, goes inside to Greco. And again, they tease that defence, or that midfield, should I say, of Parah Hills Knights.
That's a good angle right there of the new banner that Croydon have got. 2025 NPL champions.
It is indeed. Nice little flag display over there as well. Of course, founded in the very early 50s. 1950 as a sports club and 1952 as a football club specifically. And won their first South Australian title in 1955. Of course, the great John Cosmina came through this club on his way to playing one game for Arsenal. Here come Parah Hills Knights now, just enjoying a little bit of possession. Ulai now goes back, finds a Kakpo, and he goes back to his goalkeeper.
One of the experienced heads here for a pretty young Parah Hills side. Mark Ulai, the captain.
He's looking pretty sharp with that haircut, isn't he? But here come Parah Hills Knights now into the box. Mapor with a challenge. And I think it's not going to be a penalty, is it? I think it might be a penalty. It's a bit unclear. There was an early signal from the referee, just Quiflick, but I've missed it. I think it might actually be a penalty for that challenge.
Looks like they're shaping up for it. There was a little bit of confusion. I think the reason was I probably would have expected a bit more of a crowd reaction if it was for a penalty. Maybe it's a little bit too early, but no, they're certainly getting ready for a penalty now. And Marco Guerrero, the Golden Boot winner for Port Adelaide last year, is going to be taking it.
And here is Guerrero now, waiting for the whistle. There's a little bit of discussion there with Balmapor and Regis Quiflick, the referee. Marco Guerrero, the number 7 for Parah Hills Knights, hands on hips, faces Daniel Margouche. Could this be the first goal of the 2026 RANPL season? Strikes low to the left, and it's a goal. Marco Guerrero makes it 1-0 for Parah Hills Knights, maybe a little bit against the run of play. 5 minutes gone.
Well, we didn't expect that start, did we? Penalty, just looking at Marco Guerrero getting ready to take that. Must have been a very intimidating figure at the other end with Daniel Margouche, who went the right way, but the ball just went under him, and this is unexpected. 1-0 up already for Parah Hills Knights. I have
to be honest, I think the only person who really complained about that was maybe Balmapor. There wasn't a lot of complaint from his teammates or argument against it, so Parah Hills Knights 1-0 up. And just to go back to what we said at the start, if there was going to be an upset, this is the kind of game that you would get. I mean, Croydon coming into this after a 10-2 cup win last week against Plimpton. Plimpton won't be happy about me mentioning that, but a big win. They are the champions, so if you're going to shock someone, this is the situation to do it in, isn't it?
Well, even from a neutral perspective, everyone's that's come out to Regency Park tonight to see this RANPLSA season open up, to see the team less favoured go up so early, sort of puts a little bit of pressure on the home side.
Ball into the middle, towards the middle. Ayuya Keto making his competitive debut. Actually, it's not his competitive debut because he played in the Cup last week, but his competitive league debut tonight for Croydon after having signed from West Adelaide.
13 goals for them last year, West Adelaide too, so he's a good replacement for the outgoing Hisamoto.
I did manage to catch a few West Adelaide games last year, and he was a standout. Here's Ned Styles now. He's about 25 yards out. He looked like he was going to have a shot. Decided against it. Tried to play in a teammate, but it's cleared. And a throw in for Croydon on the far side.
Well, I think it's fair to say it's a little bit of a fire under Croydon. Just looking a little bit more urgent in the front third there, and they're going to waste no time in getting up again. So far, that left-hand side, that's Kato's taking up a little bit of real estate on, seems to be the favoured one.
James Pauly now on the left-hand side. Feeds it out wide to Cato. Tries to thread it through, but it goes out quite calmly and safely. 7 minutes gone on the One World LED and Sportal scoreboard for all your indoor and outdoor LED display needs. 1-0.
Well.
It's a new line every year. But we are grateful to our sponsors. We thank them. As Christopher Vivian clears the danger there, but only as far as Yuya Kato. Sorry, Samuel Adejo. Picking it back up. Jordan Caruso now. Finds Michael Diana. Mark Ulage now. He's a fair way out, but he's going to have a ping. And he's cleared the fence. Cleanly caught by a spectator who's thrown it back superbly.
It's a great first touch from the guy who hasn't even come into the ground yet, isn't it?
No, give him a discount when he gets to the gates, please.
Your car's not parked there today, is it? I know you've got a bit of a bad track record against Croydon.
Yeah, no, I've parked a fair distance away. Actually, a few years ago I commentated in a game here, and Jayden Labasso, who was at Comets at the time, put the ball over the bar and he smashed a window in that back car park, so it has happened. I've seen it. But we digress. Here's Ned Styles battling for the ball. Loses out to Michael Diana. Threads the ball through. Samuel Adejo now has options in the middle, tries to get them there, but it's cleverly blocked by Christopher Vivian, who tracked back. And Parah Hills Knights oozing with confidence, I think, since that goal in the 6th minute.
Yeah,
now have a corner.
A couple of half chances there, and interestingly, Michael Diana wasn't a name that I had on my team sheet leading up to this game, but when I saw the team sheets an hour before kickoff, before they were made available, his name was suddenly on it. So I don't have a lot of information from him, but he seems to be involved going up forward there, so could he be a bit of a wild card?
Well, we'll get to know him over the course of the next 22 or 21 rounds after this of the home and away season before finals, which will come quick enough. Here's a corner though for Parah Hills Knights. Michael Diana with it, right footed, goes into the middle towards the back. Parah Hills Knights still have it. Kyle Marley McFall unlucky just to miss the header there for Parah Hills Knights, but they still have possession that far side. Samuel Adejo with it now. And eventually Christ Akakpo goes all the way back to his goalkeeper, Losman Fusco.
Well, they managed to wrestle back a little bit of momentum here, Parah Hills, which they'll be pleased with. I mean, there is a bit of a danger, even though they do have the advantage, that you don't want to let Croydon get too much confidence. It's warm, isn't it, David?
It is. This room, I think, has, or would normally be air conditioned, but we've got the windows open, haven't we, so we can see the game. The price you pay. Won't be long before we're complaining about the cold and the wet, so don't worry about it. Here's a corner on the far side. Parah Hills Knights with it. Near post. Clinic jumps up. It sort of bobbled all over the place and was collected eventually by the goalkeeper, Daniel Margouche. And he feeds it out to Adam Martinello. Martinello goes long. In fact, Cato's going to get there. A little push in the back in the penalty area. That's risky there by Christ Akakpo. And he wins the corner. But risky raising your hands to someone's back when you're in the penalty there from Akakpo.
That was an interesting little passage of play there, from it bobbling around and being a bit of a risky situation defensively for Croydon. And that long ball came in. Looked like Cato was running into it. Now they've managed to win the free kick. Just going back to the weather thing. I'm not just trying to pass time by saying it, David, but interestingly, last week with the Cup, a whole heap of games had to be moved both forward and back in the day because of the heat rule. Although I think it might be a little bit, I don't know if it's warmer, but it certainly seems muggier and maybe a little bit more uncomfortable today. So I wonder how the players out there are feeling.
Yeah, it is muggy, which is kind of unusual for us down here in South Australia. But there is rain forecast this weekend, so tonight might be the best of it. Here's the corner. Goes very deep to the back post, headed back, I think, by Martinello. And then cleared only as far as Luke Klimek. Ball comes back in the middle. Buildup up there. And eventually Ned Styles has a snapshot. And it goes out to be a goal kick. But yes, last weekend, very hot conditions here. Old Ignatians played their cup round against Salisbury United at 9 a.m. in the morning. That would have been the first time in about 10 years that the parents of those players would have been up at that time to watch their kids play.
I went to a 9 a.m. trial game last week, and I tell you what, I didn't mind it. I got breakfast on the way, brought my coffee to the game. Wasn't a bad morning out, but a bit of an earlier riser these days than I was in years past.
Yeah. Well, you're an older man, Simon. Don't forget that. You have just joined us. We're just about to tick into the 13th minute of this RAA South Australia NPL match between the current champions playing in the red and white, Croydon, shoot to the goal on the left, and Parah Hills Knights. And Parah Hills Knights, who come into this game as underdogs, find themselves 1-0 up. Throw in for Parah Hills Knights on this near side, Jackson Merritt. Tough, solid challenge there by Ned Styles. We had a fantastic grand final. In fact, won the best on ground that day, or that night, should I say, back in September. As Croydon, after a poor start to the league campaign, won a bunch of games towards the end to get themselves into third, just behind Adelaide City and the league winners, Metro Stars. And then just had really an unbelievable final series, which took him all the way to lifting the cup.
Don't mind what I'm seeing at the moment from Parah Hills. I think the level of sharpness that they've got is not too bad. On the flip side of it, I think Croydon, although they've had a couple of semi-opportunities, not looking as sharp as they'd like, I think. Jackson Merritt to take the throw in again. Managed to win it back, Parah Hills.
Over on the far side now, Parah Hills. Kyle Marley McFall playing in that left back position. Now to make their way up the left. Marco Guerrera comes back out to Kelvin Kamburu, and he finds Kai Blomley. Here's the skipper, Mark Ulai now, feeds it out right. Jackson Merritt, nice cross, that'll be beyond the reach of the keeper. And Klimek tried, I think, to chest it back to his goalkeeper Margouche, but it's ended up going out of play. It'll be a corner on the far side for Parah Hills Knights, who have just settled so well after that first 5 minutes. Their coach Joe Allison, I think, will be quite happy with their performance so far. Corner on that far side now. Here it comes, near post. Two Parah Hills Knights players go for it, and Ned Styles just ushers it out. We do have the luxury of a boundary rider tonight, Simon. Mr. Johnny Keckle's down in the boundary. Will we cut down to him and see what the weather's like, what the atmosphere's like, what the crowd's like? Johnny, are you there?
Oh, yes, I'm here, boys. I am down in the NID grandstand, and it's not a bad turnout here tonight. A lot of nervous bodies, I'm sure, from the Croydon FC fans with that early penalty given to Parah Hills Knights. You see the confidence from those boys. I weren't expecting that early start from Parah Hills, but they've very much got a point to prove here tonight after the way their season went last year. But talking about that weather as well, it is very humid at the moment. I am struggling out here to survive. My hair is very drenched and expanding as we speak, but it is 31 degrees at the moment. And boys, it is a full moon in a couple of nights' time as well. So this score kind of reflects the full moon coming in a couple of nights' time. So we always know weird things happen during the full moon. And, well, this scoreline is probably a bit different to what people were predicting.
That's right, I would say it absolutely, as George Sonis on the far side will be, the coach of Croydon will be having a good long think about what he needs to do to get his side back in here. It's a long way to go yet, still 75 minutes to go. But yeah, they wouldn't have probably expected to be 1-0 down to Parah Hills Knights at this stage of the season, or this stage of the game, sorry.
Well, maybe on the flip side, Parah Hills Knights have got their moon chart out to have a bit of a look at what we can expect tonight. So, yeah, no, it's a good start for them. What can they produce for the next 3 quarters of this game, though? I've got to say, for Parah Hills Knights, I think, well, obviously, got the difference on the One World LED and Sportal scoreboard already. But I think even just general play-wise, I think they'd be pretty happy with what they've presented so far. We were having a bit of a chat, David, before kickoff, sort of wondering if Parah Hills were maybe going to park the bus. They certainly haven't done that yet. Seem to be running a relatively high press to keep Croydon under a little bit of pressure.
No, I feel a little bit cruel for even suggesting that, but the thought did cross my mind that they might play a more defensive game. But I think what they did was they took that first sort of 5-10 minutes just to settle and get a feel for it. And I think now that they've done that, if that's what they've done indeed, then I think the coach, Joe Allison's done a good job, because they're well and truly in this match. And I would even suggest that over the last sort of 10-12 minutes, they've been the better of the two sides.
Yeah, I think Croydon had a little bit of a run of play just following that penalty, but they sort of managed to wrestle control back a little bit. So that's pretty impressive from them. And yeah, when we had that little chat, I thought, if I'm Parah Hills here, I don't want to sit back and let Croydon control the ball too much. I think you'd want to come out early and show that you've got nothing to lose.
There's Thomas Greco on the far side now for Croydon. Nice footwork. Not enough to beat his opponent, but does win the throw on the far side. Luke Klimek will go over and take that. Luke Klimek, of course, been at this Croydon club since before football was invented, I think so.
I thought you were going to give us a year there, but you went a bit more abstract than that.
Yeah.
Turns 37 years of age next month.
37, he's nearly as old as me then. He's an absolute servant to this club, and it must have been an extremely proud moment for him when they won the grand final last September. There are 4 significant ins for this Croydon side as Parah Hills make their ways down the left hand side. Some great defending there by Christopher Vivian again. He's had a solid start to this game. Oliver Trimboli from Adelaide, Croatia, Yuya Kato from West Adelaide, Cameron O'Doherty from Murray Jets, and Freddie Muller from Adelaide City, the 4 significant ins for the 2026 season.
Yeah, a little bit of a mixture there. You've got a couple of young players, and then that's a little bit more established as well and already proven, especially Yuya Kato with those 13 goals for West Adelaide. Last year is sort of who I'm alluding to there. I had Andre Carl leave and go across town to Metro Stars, which was an established goal scorer, so that was one player that they had to change. And of course, another one was their Japanese player who apparently went back home in Mai Hisamoto.
And I think Hisamoto might even have retired. He was certainly talking about that at one stage as Parah Hills Knights go back to their goalkeeper, Lachlan Fusco, who clears under pressure from Trimboli. Styles with a half-one header, but it's just enough. Greco has it back now. Goes out wide. Finds Kato. He chips in towards the middle. Kakpo clears high into the sky. And Croydon looking the hungrier of the two now to win the ball back when they do lose it. Apor. Greco. Nice little ball through, attempted there by Adam Martinello. Didn't quite come off, but Greco still has it for Croydon at the edge of the box. There's Klimek in an overlapping run. Opts not to use him. And he will go back to Martinello. Sorry, it was Vivian, but Martinello has it. Ball now comes in from Klimek on the right-hand side. Kakpo clears for Parah Hills Knights. Here's Greco now picking up the loose ball. Kato, edge of the D. Can't quite get the space. Styles with a 50-50 ball. That's a solid challenge. He still has it. James Pauly now. Ed Blomley, the Parah Hills Knights player who was able to defend so thoroughly there.
The last few minutes have been interesting to watch as Croydon really comfortable in possession, pushing this man Thomas Greco, making a bit of a hassle of himself up there, but here's the turnover.
Marco Guerrera, who scored the penalty in the 6th minute, chasing that ball down. But at the back now, Croydon looking a little bit more composed, maybe a little more structured, maybe a bit sloppy to start with, but they've got it together now. I haven't said that. Here come Parah Hills Knights. Through ball for Guerrera. Balmapor mops it up, gives it to Luke Klimek. He goes long. One for Trimboli to chase, and he's got a bit of pace on him. Kakpo will get there first. And Lachlan Fusco in the end picks the ball up.
Yeah, I like Croydon when they're playing that a little bit faster, a little bit more frantic, short passing game. But having said that, here's another turnover as Parah Hills come on the attack.
Yep, Samuel Adejo chips in towards the middle. Who else but Mapor is there to clear. And his header goes to Adam Martinello.
Vice captain Martinello, member of the team of the year for 2025 as well.
I've just spent about 5 minutes working the ball around and holding on to the ball, I think. Just gaining their composure and confidence on it. Here's a wee chance. Here's Oliver Trimboli. His left foot off the top of the bar. Fusco was nowhere, to be honest. And Trimboli within inches of the opening goal. Klimek finds Greco. Something might be coming here. Greco with his left foot pops up. Trimboli! And he's hit it into the ground and then over the bar. 2 chances gone a-begging.
Quick succession there for Croydon, and Thomas Greco involved with the build-up of that on both occasions. Well, I mentioned a couple of minutes ago how he's making a bit of a nuisance of himself for the Parah Hills defenders, and yeah, just he manages to hold up play enough to give him a little bit of space to offload, but unfortunately it was that final ball that was no good.
Oliver Trimboli did get 2 goals last week in the Cup against Plimpton. As we stop for a little drinks break, Santana Barkowski on the bench tonight, but got 3 goals last week in that Cup game as well. Klimek with 2 goals, Alexander Good with a goal. So they spread the love around a little bit. But just to go back to the signings there, I did speak to Tony Saka earlier on. He said so far the new signings have adjusted well to life at Croydon FC. They're fitting in well with the rest of the squad. And he can honestly say that he'll have some selection headaches come round 1. Well, here we are in round 1, so this was last week, I must say. But they have had a positive run of results in their pre-season games. They were all wins, and a major emphasis on improving the general team play and maintaining effective possession. The team is looking well fit, and pre-season has been solid at this time. The aim, he says, is to build a competitive squad, build on success from last season, and really cement ourselves as a contender for the championship. So he's got one eye on that, as well as making progress deep into the Federation Cup / Australian Cup qualifiers.
Just a replay on the screen now for that challenge that resulted in the penalty, and that's Guerrera putting it past Daniel Margush. First Trimboli one, and this one just moments later.
So 24 minutes gone on the One World LED and Sportal scoreboard for all your indoor and outdoor LED display needs. A little drinks break. It is still about 32 degrees here, Simon, I think. You've got the weather on you somewhere with all your fancy equipment there?
Oh, I was just going off vibes.
Okay.
Going the fact I've got sweat marks on my top, but it's definitely warm, I can tell you that much. And Johnny Keko's thongs out on the pitch are a bit of a gauge of the weather as well. I'm not sure if the broadcast, I'm not sure where he is at the moment, but maybe lucky enough to catch that on broadcast as we get playback underway.
Kakpo with the clearance there under the attention of Oliver Trimboli. And maybe we will cut down to Johnny. Johnny, how's things down there?
I think things are livening up a little bit now with those couple of chances for Croydon, so a few of the fans have livened up slightly. But as you said about the weather as well, yeah, my thongs are the best choice ever. My brand new chinos and thongs. So my feet are out and about for round 1. So, no, it's a fantastic choice of uniform, I reckon.
They're not melting on the synthetic pitch, are they? You've got to be careful of that.
No, I'm on the concrete, actually, but no, not melting at all just yet.
Back underway here at Regency Park, home of the South Australian champions Croydon FC, who find themselves 1-0 down after a goal from the penalty spot by Marco Guerrera in the 5th minute. Parah Hills Knights looking to try and consolidate and then maybe hitting the break. but they've certainly grown in confidence since that first goal. Here is Ned Styles. Lovely little ball to this near side to James Pawley. Pawley plays it out left to Cato. Cato faces Matt. Gets across it in the middle. Trimboli dummies it. But it is cleared by Parah Hills Knights. Marco Guerrera tried to come away with it there. Wins the throw in on this near side.
You mentioned Tony Saka talking about the fitness before, and it seems like as this game goes on, Croydon finding themselves a little bit more comfortable. I wonder how they're dealing with the heat compared to the opponents tonight, and if maybe that's a bit of a factor of them just feeling a bit more comfortable. Maybe they feel a little bit quicker, a bit more fit.
Tell you what though, Parah Hills Knights have a lot to be happy with in this first half performance. You know, they would have come in here, you know, everybody sort of looking down on them, if you like. You know, and I'll own it. I sort of was a bit sceptical about how they would do tonight, but you know, they've acquitted themselves well.
I think there's a lot of game to go still, but yeah, you really don't know as you're heading to the season. Any team's got the ability to surprise you, as Croydon did last year.
That'll be a dropped ball, uncontested. And it's taken by Kyle Marley McFall. And Jackson Merritt finds Ulai. Goes over the top. Ball Maporo clear this, you'd think. Very clever by him. Cato picks up. Lovely little play between the two. And Ball Maporo has it now. Pacing his way up that left wing. He still has it. Advantage being played by the referee, Quiffelec. Ball Maporo still has it. He's on Mark Ulai now. Ulai under great pressure. Short pass there, under pressure there from Fusco, the goalkeeper. But he clears.
Is that an uncharted territory for Balmaport? Doing a bit of an overlapping run on the wing, then cutting inside?
I don't know. See if he needs oxygen. Is he all right?
Well,
he has gone a long way up.
Referring to Tony Saka's comments, he said they were feeling fit, so...
Throwing in this near side now. James Pawley with it. Goes down the line, finds Cato. Nice piece of defensive work there by Jackson Merritt, I'd say, just to put Cato off, and the ball has come off him, gone out for a throw-in, and Merritt will take it. Down the line it goes. Pawley gets it though and heads it straight back. Oliver Trimboli. Thomas Greco now. They play some nice football when they get the ball on the deck, don't they, Croydon?
Yeah, and Thomas Greco, especially wearing that number 10, he's really, really nice on the ball. He's a very compact player, manages to just get into those spaces really comfortably.
Mapor goes back out wide to James Pawley. It's been very busy down this left flank. Now they opt to switch. Christopher Vivian now. Ed Styles. Finds Yuya Cato. James Pawley's popped up there. That's a nice left-footed cross. Breaks back. Adam Martinello tries to make the strike there. It doesn't come off. Parah Hills Knights come away with it. Nice strike again there on the outside of the foot by Martinello, but just didn't get the direction right. He goes out for a goal kick.
Oliver Trimboli's going to be a problem up that end. He's found himself in some dangerous space on his own. Just 21 years of age. I believe he turns 22 this weekend, actually, if my notes are correct. On Monday, he'll be turning 1 year older. He's previously won the Golden Boot for Raiders, David.
I take it you didn't get an invite to his birthday party then?
No, I didn't.
I know exactly when it is because I did get an invite to it. Paul Mapor now in the middle of the park for Croydon. Martinello feeds it out wide. Croydon look to build on the right hand side. It's mopped up by Luke Klimek. Martinello now comes to this near side. James Pawley just inside Parah Hills, Knights half. Yuya Cato takes on Jackson Merritt, fancies his chances at the byline, gets his cross in but it's not effective, and they clear. Parah Hills Knights just cannot get the ball under control and hold on to possession right now as we hit the 30th minute mark on the One World LED and Sportal scoreboard for all your indoor and outdoor LED display needs, Simon.
Cato looking really comfortable on that left-hand side. He hasn't really managed to be effective in delivering those balls in, either by cross or trying to just dribble from in behind, but he is being afforded a lot of space, so I do think it may be dangerous to leave him unchecked on that left-hand side for Parah Hills.
Last time these two met was in round 16 last year at this very ground. It was a 4-1 win for Croydon. Luca Trimboli scored 2, brother of Oliver, of course. Adam Martinello got 1 that day, and Passia John, Abdul Bukhari Hussein scored Parah Hills Knights' only goal. And here's Oliver Trimboli now making his way into the edge of the box, just inside the box, should I say. Tries to cack pose on him. Trimboli still has it. Can't get the space though. It's a lovely ball into towards the middle, trying to find Greco. Eventually, Michael Diana clears. Croydon for me now just in the ascendancy over the last 10 minutes, and a sense that they'll get something maybe before half time if this pattern of play continues.
Yeah, you certainly get that feeling. Earlier on, Parah Hills were able to wrestle back momentum a little bit, but Croydon just seemed to be running away with it a little bit as this one finds Cato on the far side.
Paulie in the overlapping run. Paulie on his left foot chips it in towards the back post. That's a powerful header and a tap in. No, just missed. And that's Oliver Trimboli again, right on the byline, or right on the goal line, should I say. Another chance. Missed as we see the replay here. Actually, Mark Ulai, solid defending there by the Parah Hills Knights captain, just do enough to put Trimboli off.
I was saying just in the lead up to that Cato hadn't been terribly effective in getting crosses in over what we've seen so far in the first half, but on that side, the cross wasn't the issue at all. It was just the finish in the end.
Here come Parah Hills Knights now again. Michael Diana gives the ball out wide. Jordan Caruso now fancies a chance down the left hand side, gets the cross in. It breaks and hits the post, and it's a tap in from about 3 inches out from Marco Guerrera for his second. And there's 40 minutes gone, and the underdogs are 2-0 up.
Well, another one against the run of play, and it doesn't matter how much you've been controlling the last 10 minutes or so. It's Parah Hills Knights that go 2-0 up. Wow. Well, I've got to say, the moments that we have seen Parah Hills Knights attacking, they've been pretty impressive, and that one seemed to be created out of not a whole lot. Caruso, deflected ball. Sammy Deo had a crack at it, and I think you said Guerrero got the last touch, David.
Yeah, so a great piece of work down that left-hand side by Jordan Caruso to get the ball in. Missed hit, really, by Samuel Adejo. And Marco Guerrero there, the number 7, taps in the second goal of the night, his second as well of the night. And Croydon, over the period of I said 40 minutes, it's actually been 34. But over that period, I think Croydon overall have been the better of the two. But Parah Hills Knights, I tell you what, they're not lacking confidence, are they?
Yeah, and I'm here for it. I like the audacity of them to think, we're coming in as the underdogs. Let's give it a crack and make the most of it when we can. Over the other side, Trimboli's had about 3 really good cracks on goal, hasn't managed to convert, but Parah Hills getting it done.
Here they come back into the middle now. Greco on his left. That's a great stop. And it's gone in on the far side. And Croydon have pulled one back through Yuya Kato. And it's 2-1. Almost as soon as it was 2-0. And the new signing from West Adelaide opens his account in the league for 2026.
Well, we knew it wasn't going to be long till he got himself on the score sheet here, but in the very first half of round 1 of this 2026 RA NPLSA season, as the replay comes in, an initial shot of that left boot of Trimboli, but Cato getting on the end of the deflection. It was Greco, that had that initial shot off his left, and Cato managed to get the ball through a lot of legs to find the back of the net there.
Parah Hills goalkeeper Lachlan Fusco will be a bit disappointed. I mean, he did well to parry the shot, and it was well struck by Greco, wasn't it? He'd be a bit disappointed to have conceded that. They'd done so well to get themselves 2-0 up. And if you have just joined us, it is 2-1 for Parah Hills Knights. You read that correctly. Marco Guerrera with a penalty in the 5th minute, and then he added a second from all of about 3 inches out in the 33rd minute, and in the 35th minute Croydon pulled one back through Yayo Kato. Yuya Kato, excuse me. All to play for.
The crowd was in a little bit of shock following that second goal from Parah Hills, but they couldn't look down at their hot chips for too long because Croydon managed to put some drama back in this first fixture.
I would have thought people would be eating salad tonight, Simon. It's a very warm night here in Adelaide, and I thought hot chips is... well,
come on, fish and chips in summer.
Yeah, well...
David, please.
Yeah, fair enough. Croydon now, maybe they'll be buoyed by that. 10 minutes until the half-time whistle. Here come Croydon again. Ed Styles finds James Pawley and he feeds it back in to Balmapore. All the way back to the goalkeeper, Daniel Margouche. Long ball, just too far there. Parah Hills Knights throw, and we might cut down to Johnny. There's been 2 goals since we last spoke to you, Johnny, and in quick succession, one after each other.
Yeah, it's emotional rollercoaster down here for the Croydon fans. They were hands on their faces, and then moments later they were hands in the air celebrating. So it's going to be an interesting second half, I'm sure, but I definitely wouldn't have predicted this scoreline, and I don't think anyone in this crowd were, well, definitely not wanting this scoreline either. So interesting start to kickstart the opening round, and I'll get back to you boys for this action.
Ed Styles being summoned by the referee, Regis Quiffelet, for a quick chat for that challenge. I think it's Jackson Merritt who's the player on the ground. I actually wasn't sure there was much in that, but I'm a long way away from it. And I think it's Marco Guerrero, the player who's down. Styles going for it. He's caught his foot right enough.
Yeah, I think that foot just lingered for a little bit too long, and it looks like that's what Regis Quiffelet's seen in the centre as well, as the trainer comes on to have a bit of a look.
Good decision. You know, I guess that's why we've got to be careful what we say when we're standing like 50 metres away from it and the referee's right at it, so that was a good decision.
And they don't even have to see the replay screen.
That's it.
He's been potent though this half. Marco Guerrero, 2 to his name, so but I think he will get up from this. He's just getting a little bit of treatment, and I feel he will continue.
He strikes me as being a very tough lad, Simon. I'm sure he'll be back up in his feet in no time. Don't our officials look nice in their new pink uniforms this year?
Pink seems to be colour of the day, because Parah Hills Knights were warming up in pink as well, and a couple of the officials that were spending the night here tonight were pretty impressed. They liked the little nod to them.
That's it. They looked like there was 16 referees warming up when Parah Hills Knights came out in those pink shirts.
It's rare that they have the numerical advantage, or the officials, isn't it?
Yeah. Back underway. Free kick taken by Mark Ulage. Goes long, intercepted by Christopher Vivian. Adam Martinello now picks it up for Croydon on that far side in front of their 2025 NPL Champions banner. Balmapore now.
I'm pretty sure that banner wasn't here for the trial game I was at a couple of weeks ago against Playford Patriots, so I wonder if that was a little Easter egg to be waiting for the crowd for round 1 here tonight.
It's quite nice, isn't it? I like the font and everything.
Yeah, very nice.
And the Eagle of Poland there, and the Mermaid of Warsaw that they wear so proudly on their chests. Here's Oliver Trimboli at the edge of the D. Can't get the shot in, but Cato might. Oh, it's well blocked by Mark Ulage, the captain. He's been one of Parah Hills Knights' best tonight, I'd say.
Yeah, showing his maturity in this relatively young team. Just to add to the new signage as well. I got here nice and early today, and with no crowd, you were able to appreciate Regency Park in all his glory. Croydon have done a really good job in kitting it out with the signage all over the place. The club room's up here as well. We can see through our little window with their trophies, and quite a history they've got.
It's like a little porthole into the club rooms, isn't it?
It is.
Anyway, it's a corner on the far side. Croydon take it into the middle. Tripoli with another chance. He's put that one over the top. Under a bit of pressure though. Difficult to get a shot on target when you've got that pressure. I think there's 2 players on him. Maybe should have done a bit better. Hard to tell, but chances keep coming.
I think that's been the case. A little bit of a repeating pattern tonight for Croydon up that end of the field. Should have done a little bit better.
It'll be interesting to see what George Sonis and the Croydon coaching group do at time, or maybe just after half time, because they do have some potency on the bench, don't they? I mean, they've got Santana Bartkowski there, scored 3 goals last week. Alexander Good as well, he also scored last week. But here come Parah Hills Knights again. A little bit of confusion there. Klimek goes to ground, fairly strong challenge from behind.
Yeah, as you said, they've got some quality on the bench. Croydon. Notice Pasir John isn't on the bench tonight, and he of course had that instrumental part in that late goal that crowned the 2025 champions with that cross he sent onto the head of Andre Carl during that fateful night last year at Service FM Stadium.
The wizard on the wing.
Oh, that footwork was very nice leading up to the cross.
Christopher Vivian now presses forward. Greco. The Hills Knights look to try and win possession back. Somewhat clumsy challenge there by Samuel Adejo. Croydon have it. Cato. Ed Styles. Balmapore. They're pressed quite high here, Croydon. Klimek now tries to get that cross in. Blocked and cleared. Going as far as Kai Blomley. And he clears straight back to Croydon.
I find myself a little bit conflicted on how I'd summarise Parah Hills' defence tonight.
Thomas Greco right through the middle. Sorry, Simon. Mark Ulai comes away with it. Sorry, Simon.
No, that's all right. I was just about to say I'm a little bit conflicted with how I'd assess Parah Hills Knights' defence. There's been moments where they've looked quite solid, but then again, Oliver Trimboli's found himself with, in some pretty dangerous positions there, so interesting to see which way it sways my opinion, especially as we get into the second half.
For me, they've been fine. They've done the job, apart with one exception, of course, that they needed to do. But it's looked a little bit lacking, maybe in composure. So they've cleared their lines, not in a panic, but in a hurry. And they haven't always looked for a teammate when they've cleared their lines. They've often just booted it. That's how I've seen Parah Hills Knights at the back. But it's been effective enough. They're 2-1 up.
I think as well, if we were maybe to look at the possession over the last 20 minutes or so, I think that'd sort of reflect that as well, because even when they do manage to intercept, they seem to be turning it back over quite a lot, unless of course you take the example of when they scored that quick goal off the counter, which Croydon in turn countered it, felt like less than a minute later.
Well, it is a free kick. It's a good 35-40 yards out. Oliver Trimboli's over it and Ned Styles is over it, and both can hit it. It's a 4-man wall just at the edge of the box. Grifflick has the whistle to his lips. He blows. Trimboli strikes with his right, and he's put it the same place he's put a lot of his shots tonight, which is just over the bar and into the back netting. He'll be disappointed with that. He's got to put it behind him. Think about the next opportunity when it comes.
He's a solid boy, isn't he? And hit that with some vigour.
We know he's a quality striker, and we know what he's capable of. 2 goals last week against Plimpton in the Cup. Again, Plimpton won't be reminding them of that, but that was the first competitive hit out for Croydon. Parah Hills Knights, of course, had the bye last week, so no game for them. This is their first competitive match of the 2026 RANPL South Australia season. We are now into the last minute of regulation time in this first half. There's Cato now. Has Polly in the overlap run. Opts to just go himself. Tries to beat 3 players. It doesn't work out. Ned Styles has it now. He mops up. Finds Balmapore. Christopher Vivian now goes out wide. Croydon just taking the pace out of the game a little bit. Happy to swap the play from left to right and back as they build up patiently. Cato tries to beat 3 men, does it this time, flicks it in, receives it back, left foot, straight across the face. It's still in play, and Luke Klimek will pick it up on that far side. He goes to the byline, gets his cross in. And it goes into the hands of Lachlan Fusco. It came off a Parah Hills Knights player, and there's a half-hearted appeal from the likes of Ball McPore that was a pass back, but I think that's pretty vain.
Another opportunity goes begging there for Croydon, this time in stoppage time, and you do get the feeling, although they managed to get that second one back quickly, I don't think they would have predicted being one down at the halfway mark. So plenty of work to do in the next 45.
Well, here's a little chance. Here's Yuya Kato, edge of the box, strikes it low. It's a great stop by Lachlan Fusco, and there's your candidate for save of the week already. Low to his left, did enough, blocked the shot, pushed it out wide, but Croydon still have it, and they come again. Kato at the back post to try to use his right as the ball was coming across to his left.
Flew in towards that. He doesn't want to see it. See them go into half-time. One down, that's for sure. He's seemed to grow his confidence throughout the half a little bit, I think. Like I said, he was sort of a bit content to spend some time on that really, really wide, but getting a little bit more involved, having to carry the ball into the 18-yard box, and not bad attempts on that occasion.
Lachlan Fusco with the goal kick, gets back underway. Goes long, Lepore wins the header, ahead of Marco Guerrera. Akakpo heads back into the middle. Styles tries to turn on it. And here comes Kai Bromley straight through the middle. Plays it out wide to this near side. Marco Guerrera crosses into the middle. And it's a corner. Maybe the last piece of play of the match. The ball went into the middle there to Samuel Adejo. Came off a Croydon player, and it's a corner.
Got to admit, I held my breath a little bit as that happened. I thought, no, they're not going to do it again, are they, Parah Hills? Well, they certainly didn't initially, but here's another chance off the corner. As I mentioned earlier, the late inclusion, Michael Diana, he's in this team tonight, and he's the one taking these corners from the right-hand side.
And here it comes. It's low. It's probably mishit. Klimek clears it quite comfortably. Kato has it now. He has three players, but he also has two of his own, Greco and on the far side, Adam Martinello. A little nudge to ground maybe by Jordan Caruso, and it's a free kick. Free kick for Croydon on that far side. James Pauly's gone over to see if Adam Martinello wants a hand taking it, but Martinello has declined that offer, and he'll probably just pop this in towards the penalty spot. And here it comes, and it is the penalty spot. Parah Hills Knights clear through Jackson Merritt, but it ends up with Balmapore on this left hand side, crosses with his right. It's not a great cross, but they still have possession. Oliver Trimboli twists and turns like a cast member from Fame, and Balmapore puts it in the middle, and finally Oliver Trimboli's got the goal he's been looking for all through this first half, and he struck that beautifully, and you can see from his face there and his expression he's pretty happy with that one. Right on half time, Croydon go and get their second to make it 2-2 on the One World LED and Sportal scoreboard.
Well, I think he's had enough cracks at it for sure. I think that's probably about the fourth or fifth time lucky. He's a big target in the middle there, and finally it's just off a little bit of a scrappy defending from Parah Hills. There's that cross that came in from Bon McCall. Actually, it wasn't scrappy defending because it came straight in from McCall to find Trimboli in the middle, and he finally gets a chance to celebrate as the half-time whistle goes.
Well, that was an entertaining first half. I've got to say, we thought there'd be a few goals tonight, but we weren't sure that they would be, the sides would be level at half-time. We probably wouldn't have picked that. Very entertaining first half. The score was opened in the 5th minute. Marco Guerrera with a penalty in the 5th minute, and then he scored his second and the team's second, Parah Hills' second, on the 33rd minute. Only for 2 minutes later, Yuya Kato to score his debut league goal for Croydon after signing from West Adelaide. And there we saw Oliver Trimboli putting the ball in after, like you said, he'd had a few attempts, so he'll be pretty happy to get that one in. Just looking at some of the replay from the first half, there's the penalty that put Parah Hills Knights 1-0 up. And then a shot over the bar there of Mark Uli. Here was the first of Oliver Trimboli's chances, hit the bar, and then he had another chance about 3 seconds later, which he also put over the bar. The first one hit the bar, of course. half chance there. I think Mark Ulage has done very good job defending against Oliver Trimboli in particular. And here's the tap in for Guerrera's second and Parah Hills second, putting 2-1 up on 35 minutes. And Simon, what have you made of the first half as we watch this highlight reel?
Well, I've actually been counting the near misses for Oliver Trimboli, and I've got 3 so far, and I think there was a couple more after that. But he's going to be such a problem this year if he's afforded any space up front. He's won a Golden Boot prior Adelaide Croatia Raiders back in 2024, and if he's looking this dangerous throughout the 2026 season, I think he might be a bit of a shoo-in to do that again tonight. Of course, we've got a long 22 rounds to play.
Yeah, sorry, there's a long way to go, isn't there, as we watch these highlights. And there's Oliver Trimboli's goal that we just saw there. We might go and get ourselves a wee break and some stats coming up on the screen in a moment. But there you go, 12 shots for Croydon, 5 for Parah Hills Knights, 4 on target for Croydon versus 3 by Parah Hills Knights. Shots off target's quite telling, isn't it? 7 shots off target by Croydon, and I think that sort of emphasises the point that we've both felt they should be a bit more clinical in front of goal.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe just panicking a little bit. You know, but on the flip side of that as well, if any one of those early opportunities for Trimboli would have found the back of the net, then this scoreline would have looked very, very different. So I can't fault them for trying it. You make a couple of misses, you could have just as easily got them in. But, I mean, I didn't expect to be all locked up at half-time either, David.
No, that's true. And look, I think Parah Hills Knights can be proud of what they've done through that first half. And they'll go into that half-time break content, I think, with what they've done in that first half. Croydon with a little bit of work to do. But I think you and I should go and have a little break ourselves. It's a warm night. We should go and get ourselves a little glass of cold water, I think. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. Don't go anywhere, folks. You're watching the men's NPL South Australia. And it is 2-2 between Croydon and Parah Hills Knights at half-time. See you soon, folks.
At Service FM, we know every workplace is different. Every challenge is unique. That's why we personalise our services to our customers' different needs across different industries. From medical to mining and manufacturing, hospitality to healthcare, commercial to defence. So when you need to create a better work environment, you need Service FM. Proud partner with Football South Australia.
Adelaide wakes up with 5AA, David Penberthy and Will Goodings. Tom Wren for sport. Jade Robran on the scene as it happens. Jess Adamson with the news that matters to Adelaide. Breakfast with David and Will, bringing together the names you trust with everything you need to know to start your day. Always live, always local and only on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
For over 25 years, HPG Homes have been helping South Australians build and own their dream home. Whether it's a house and land package, custom build or development, our HPG fixed price guarantee ensures no nasty surprises or price changes along the way. We're committed to quality, affordability and creating a way of life for you and your family. Fixed price, turnkey. It's gotta be HPG. HPG Homes.
I think the people involved, you get to meet a lot of people in football, and that's just one of the great things. Not only is the sport great, but the people involved. So fellow referees, players, coaches, even fans. I love officiating because it keeps me involved in football. I was a player, but I don't reckon I could cut it out there anymore, at least at any decent level. But as a referee, I get to be involved in higher levels of football. Keeps me involved, keeps me fit, and is great fun. I think I have a moment of this is why I do this every week. It's always good fun to get out there, and there are tough moments, but being resilient and succeeding, even just in the little things throughout a match. I think embracing challenges is such an important skill to learn, and as a referee you'll surely come across a lot of them, and I certainly have. I reckon give it a go. You will face challenges, but that's a part of it, and I think embracing challenges is such an important skill to learn.
What an exciting first half of action that's been down here at Regency Park. The home side going down 2-0, but managing to get the equaliser right before the half-time break. I'm here to talk about the half-time, but also talk about the club that's hosting tonight's fixture. He's the operations manager, a full-time fan of this club. AJ, good to have you here, mate, and what a first half of football.
Thanks, Johnny. Thanks for having me. Yeah, wasn't expecting that. It was a very intense, fiery first half of football. Look, that's what happens in 2026. All clubs are going to come out to play.
And a big year for the club last year. Not only did you win the grand final, but you did it in the 75th year. How important was that to celebrate this for the club and to be able to just actually celebrate that whole week, because you had the celebrations at the end of the week of the grand final week?
It was very special, to be honest. I've been a part of this club my whole life, and we sort of had a bit of a joke during the start of the year going, imagine if we win it in our 75th. So it was an incredible night. It meant a hell of a lot to the club and to all the people here.
We'll talk about the facility as well. We're in a brand new facility. You've been here for a little while now, but down the road was the original Polonia Park. Tell me a bit about the move from that park, which has a lot of history, but now adding the extra here and creating a new future for the club.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. It was a sad day to move. Unfortunately, we didn't really have a choice. It was just the way the cookie crumbled, so to speak. So, look, lots of good memories, even for myself as a 6-year-old sitting on the old man's shoulders, 10 deep in the car park and watching the game. So it was one hell of a facility. Everyone loved going there, but now we're in this brand new building, and it's fantastic. We've got all of our juniors and seniors at the same place.
It's fantastic to see. You've added some history to the club here as well in the short period you've been here. You've also included the new sign that says you're the 2025 champions. How important was that to include that into tonight's game?
Yeah, look, we're working really hard to get a bit of history and a bit of culture back into Polonia. I believe we've done that very well in the last 2 to 3 years. And look, the grand final, we just got to let everyone know, just got to keep reminding everyone, don't we, that we did win it. We are the defending champions.
Yes, absolutely. Let's just cast your mind back just that slightly, because you said you had a lot of memories down at Polonia Park. There's a few memories being made here after that grand final win. How long were you here celebrating in this very bar behind us? Can you share that with us?
Johnny, as you know, it was a long night / morning. We came back on the bus to fireworks and flares and all sorts in the car park with hundreds upon hundreds up in the club room. Look, I think I locked up at just after 6. I'm surprised you didn't stay till then, mate.
I was thinking about 3, I
you
reckon.
did 3.
Yeah,
I think you did a good job at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, it was a long night, and I had to back it up with the State League 1 finals the next day. So
I don't know how you did it, mate, because I was a bit dusty.
Yeah, I know. But no, it was a good celebration for the club. It's very important to be back now for another big campaign. And how nervous were you in that first few minutes here going down 2-0?
Oh, look, 100%. Doesn't matter who you play in round 1. It's always going to be a tough battle, a tough ask. And there's a lot of expectations on us now. Like we're defending champions. We're the hunted now. So it's going to be tough no matter who we play. But yeah, that first couple of minutes was very, very nervy. But the boys put it together back late in that second, and I'm sure we'll go down with it in the next 45.
How good was that to have Trimboli and Kato both scoring in that first half?
2 fantastic new signings for us. Both really impressed in the pre-season on the training track. Fantastic in off-season games. Both performing really well. So really good to see them both on the score sheet early on.
I was sitting next to Trimmers the whole game. He's very quiet, and the one moment I'd moved away from my seat, his son scores. So it would have been great to see that reaction.
Hey, do me a favour, don't sit next to Jason anymore.
No, I'll move away. But, congratulations on the win last year. Good luck this season as well. Look forward to seeing what Croydon can do. And I love seeing the history being put here and really emphasising the culture of what Bologna stands for.
Thanks, Johnny. Thanks for coming tonight. Thanks for having a fantastic telecast, and we look forward to having you for some more pierogi very soon.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be here for pierogi, don't worry. And my producer in my ear is half Polish, so I'm sure he'll be keen too.
Done. We'll lock you in and our shout.
Absolutely. Well, that is all for the halftime break. On the other side, we will be bringing you the second half of the fixtures of this fixture. But next week, the Apex Steel WNPLSA kicks off, and it's going to be a great round of football. We can't wait for it to kick off. More football and more women's game here in South Australia. That's all next week, but tonight we're still another game of football to kick off the opening night of the RAA NPLSA. That's all for the halftime show. Thank you, AJ.
Thanks, Johnny. Thanks for having us. Thank you very much, and come on, Bologna.
Yeah, don't go anywhere on the other side. We'll have the second half for you.
At Service FM, we know every workplace is different. Every challenge is unique. That's why we personalise our services to our customers' different needs across different industries. From medical to mining and manufacturing, hospitality to healthcare, commercial to defence. So when you need to create a better work environment, you need Service FM. Proud partner with Football South Australia.
Adelaide wakes up with 5AA, David Penberthy and Will Goodings. Tom Wren for sport. Jade Robran on the scene as it happens. Jess Adamson with the news that matters to Adelaide. Breakfast with David and Will, bringing together the names you trust with everything you need to know to start your day. Always live, always local, and only on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Welcome back to Regency Park for the second half of this intriguing counter between the host side Croydon Kings and the visitors Parah Hills Knights. It is 2-2 on the One World NLED Sportal scoreboard at half-time. I'm your host, David Grant, and I'm in the studio here with Simon Jimenez. Simon, how was your half-time break?
It was quick. I was eager to get back, and after a 4-goal first half, I was keen to check out this second. I noticed you did say in the opener Croydon Kings.
Did I?
You did.
Some old habits die hard. If I was a little bit older, I'd have been calling them Polonia Adelaide, of course. But Croydon Kings for a while, and now Croydon FC. Parah Hills Knights lining up with 5 at the back, I noticed when we kicked off there. Maybe just going to try and protect this 2-2 scoreline, at least for the first maybe 5 or 10 minutes. They did strike early in that first half in just the 5th minute to win the penalty. Marco Guerrero able to put that away. And Marco Guerrero scored again in the 33rd minute before Croydon pulled 2 back through Yuya Kato in the 33rd minute, and Oliver Trimboli just on half time. But we're back underway here, ball into the middle. And a little bit of a scramble there by Croydon to clear it, and they have only cleared it as far as Parah Hills Knights midfield. Tries to Kakpo with it now. Plays in Jordan Caruso. Caruso comes back, finds Kai Blomley. Now Balmapor comes away with it. Mapor with a bit of space. Blomley tries to close him down right on the halfway line, but Balmapor gets his pass off. Down the left hand side they continue. Kato now crosses with his right. It's a decent cross. Defended well by Jackson Merritt. And eventually Parah Hills Knights come away with it.
I think Cato's confidence is continuing to grow. I left you with that point just before half time, especially after he was involved with the goals, and started off this half well as well. Speaking of confidence, Balmapor seems to have it coming forward again.
He has. He's maybe been caught out of possession here. Down the right hand side goes Guerrera. Into the middle he goes. His target was Samuel Adejo, didn't quite get to him, and the ball goes out. There has been a substitution, Simon. Cameron O'Doherty is on for Croydon at right back, and as soon as I can work out who has made way for him, I'll let you know. But Croydon have made a half-time change, and they get us back underway. Searching ball just down that left hand side. It's Luca Trimboli, so they've made 2 changes at least. Trimboli with his cross into his brother Oliver, can't quite get in the end of it, and that one will go out. And it is a throw in for Parah Hills Knights, right down in that corner flag in the left back position. Goes line. Adriel flicks it on only as far as Thomas Greco, who picks it up. Plays in Ned Stiles and receives it back. Doherty now. Goes crossfield. Ball finds Balmapor. Ned Stiles. Doherty now. Back into the middle. They're playing the ball nicely on the ground again. We made that remark in the first half. How composed Croydon can look when they get the ball on the deck. Kato now on the far side. And I was looking for the overlapping run, I think, from James Colley. It wasn't forthcoming. The ball goes out quite harmlessly.
Probably a safe assumption there, because they were linking up really well, especially during the first little part of the first half. I think a little bit later on, Kato was doing most of that running up that left-hand side on his own. Probably getting involved again. It'll be an interesting challenge to watch the replay of.
A yellow card for Yuya Kato. And the referee pulls his card out. First one we've had, I think, tonight, isn't it?
I believe so, yeah. That's Jackson Merritt getting a little bit of treatment. He was getting a little bit early on, I think, as well. If I got that correct, David. I know Marco Guerrero went down at one point, but I think Jackson Merritt was involved with a tough challenge as well. He's up again, though. Looks like play's about to get back underway, and Mark Houlay, captain, will be the one to do so.
Just to go back to those substitutions, you're right, Cameron O'Doherty was on at the start. Of course, I knew that too. It's Luca Trimboli, number 12 out there, has come on. He's the substitute who's come on. And here is O'Doherty now. Plays in Oliver Trimboli in this near side. Trimboli tries to play in the other Trimboli. Pass doesn't get to him. Parah Hills Knights have it. Here they come.
Just having a look at the firepower on the bench that Croydon still have, and Zoltan Barkowski on the bench with Oscar Slattery as well, and Alexander Good, and Freddie Muller too.
Parah Hills Knights have also made a substitution at half-time. Chikosi Yanni has come on, the number 5. So there have been a couple of changes for both sides. Greco for Croydon finds Ned Stiles. Plays in Luke Klimek. He opts to go back to Martinell, and that's a long searching ball to that far side. Ambitious, and Jackson Merritt deals with it, but only as far as a Croydon player, James Pawley. And Croydon have possession again. A continuation really of what we saw in the first half, where Croydon hold on to possession for a little while, press into their opponent's half, play it across to the left, back to the right, back to the left, just testing and teasing and trying to find where that weakness is.
Well, it was interesting last season that Croydon found their momentum as the season went on. It was sort of from the halfway mark and sort of the back end of the season that they really put together that big string of wins. So, you know, if we're going to be following that model and Croydon may take a bit to settle into the season, then it's going to be very interesting to see what they become as well. We spoke to Coach George Sonis from Croydon at the back end of last season, and he said he inherited a bit of a naive group, his words, and they had to sort of go about building the team and learning to do things his way. So second season he's had a chance to do that and go further.
Doherty into the middle now to the back post. Oh, what a stop by Lachlan Fusco. His second good save of the night, it has to be said.
He's been so busy tonight, hasn't he?
He has, but he's done well. He's had 2, maybe 3 decent saves tonight. One especially in the first half that stood out, which went low to his left, I think from Cato. And that was a solid block there. Croydon have the free kick. And the freeway over to the left-hand side, and they're a good distance out. You would imagine this one's popped into the air. Balmaport is in there. The 2 Trimbolis are in there. So they have some aerial prowess. Here comes that cross. None of them go for it. And in fact, Christa Kakpo is the player that it ends up with. He's kind of gets it caught between his legs, but emerges from it unscathed. Score still 2-2.
You made a good observation there about some of the tall timber that Croydon have got now between Trimboli and Oliver Trimboli, that is, and Balmaport, and yeah, they've got a little bit of height amongst the team.
Throwing in this near side. Oliver Trimboli robbed by Jordan Caruso. But again, Parah Hills Knights just can't hang on to possession for an extended period of time, and that's a lovely through ball, nearly well intercepted by Kyle Marley McFall there for Parah Hills Knights. He's had a sterling evening, hasn't he, Simon?
Yeah, he has so far. Just having a bit of a look at this list for Croydon, and there were 2 really big outs for them at the conclusion of last year, Andre Carl and Maya Hisamoto, and just the fact that they've managed to pick up 2 players, which seems like they may even be a bit of a level up from those 2. It's quite impressive. Obviously, we're only about halfway into the first game of the season, but things look promising so far.
I would agree with you there. I find it hard to disagree with you, Simon. You're an agreeable person. As Oliver Trimboli wins a throw in this near side off Kai Plumley.
Is that a good thing?
Of course it's a good thing.
Means I'm not completely full of it.
Very easy to get on with. And you're pleasant company as well.
Oh, thank you, mate. Maybe we could do a couple more of these this year. What do you reckon?
Well, there's another 22 weeks of this plus finals, so we've got plenty of time. Here's Luke Klimek's throw right into the middle. Kakpo clears with his thigh, unorthodox but effective. Solid challenge by Klimek, who's won not only the ball but possession. And Doherty caught off guard, I think, with that pass. Parah Hills Knights take the throw in fairly quickly, and Klimek's quick to close down, but they have the throw in again.
We had a little bit of confusion about Cameron O'Doherty, wondering did he or did he not come on, but we're getting a bit of a close look to him that we didn't get during the first half, that's for sure. So, and also Klimek as well on the near side.
I would also suggest, without meaning to demean his performance, that O'Doherty had a quiet first half, but he certainly come into it in this half. I don't think it's just that he's right in front of us. I think a lot of the play came down the other side of the park for against Croydon for Parah Hills Knights in that first half. So
that's a good point too, yeah.
Well, here he is again. He's onside, plays it nicely into the middle to Trimboli. Trimboli finds Greco. Greco's on his left. Solid pressure there by Michael Diana to force the ball out wide. Croydon still have it. James Pawley now crosses into the middle. Penalty spot. Kyle Marley-McFall clears for Parah Hills Knights. But again, Parah Hills Knights clearances seem to more often than not go back to their opponents.
And it looks like Adam Martinello is next to Bolmapore at the moment as well. I wonder if he's going to be settling in that defensive position. That'll be interesting to watch.
Well, they certainly, when they're in possession and they're pressing high, only keep two at the back. They did that through the first half. This is Croydon I'm talking about. Bolmapore and Martinello are the two that are there. Who's O'Doherty now? I fancied a little raid up forward there, but he just changed his mind. Plays it back to Martinello. James Pawley now. And again, they switch the play nicely. And when they've got the ball on the ground, they do look a threat. Ned Stiles now on his right. Gets the shot in. It's another good save by Fusco. Ulad ducks there, and the ball ends up back in Fusco's hands.
Just looking at how the two Trimbolis are sort of lining up forward as well for Croydon now. Oliver's sort of gone a little bit more to the side, not quite a right-hand winger, but certainly on that right-hand side, and leaving Luca Trimboli in the middle to be that, I guess, true number 9.
We might cut ourselves down to Johnny at the sidelines. We've ignored him for the first 15 minutes of this second half, so we'll maybe just check in on Johnny and see what things are like. But be aware, Johnny, I might just cut you off if Croydon, who are going through another little period of attack, end up getting something here. How's things down there, Johnny?
You'd be very excused if you did have to cut me off, mate. It's all good down here, but yeah, it's interesting down here. I'm right amongst the crowd. It's a very good turnout, and they're a lot more calmer than they were in the first half. Bit of a slow start for the Croydon FC, the home side, but I heard you describing the play a little bit earlier, David, and saying to the left, to the right. I was waiting for you to finish it off with jump up and down to the knees, because I thought you were singing Agadoo there for a moment. But it is great, as you do mention about the two brothers on the pitch. I do recall after the grand final last year speaking to Oliver, and he was talking about he was in talks with the club to come over, and he was looking forward to playing with his brother. So it's great to see them out here tonight playing, and also great to see that goal earlier. I saw Jason, their father, up in the grandstand, so he's looking on as a proud father.
And a substitution will now be made.
How do you feel about that? Johnny's the one that usually does the musical references, David.
Yeah, and he's referencing an 80s classic there. Agadoo is one of my favourites, I can tell you.
Right in your wheelhouse. Sorry to disrupt you there. You were talking about the substitution.
Yes, I think leaving the park on the far side, Michael Diana has had a good game. So he disappears, and onto the fray comes Emmanuel Wary. 60 minutes gone. You surprised at that substitution? I felt Michael Diana had a good half.
I think so, but let's remember as well that he wasn't on my team sheet, which suggests that maybe he wasn't initially going to be playing part of this game. But Emmanuel Wary coming over from Salisbury United after last year. He's previously won a State League 1 Resi's double. Previously played with Salisbury United, Metro Stars reserves, and Modbury Jets reserves as well.
While you were talking there, the goal scorer Marco Guerrera has left us as well. He's been replaced by Daniel Bradshaw Scott. So a double substitution there for Parah Hills Knights on the 60th minute.
That one's maybe a little bit more surprising to me, but he did also cop a heavy challenge in the first half too, so could that be something to do with it possibly?
Just trying to see how they're lining up, Parah Hills Knights, and if they're sitting more defensively. Certainly Emmanuel Wary has gone into a defensive role. And It does look like they're playing with 5 at the back still. They haven't changed that, with Kai Bromley playing as a 6, the number 16 playing as a defensive midfielder, a holding midfielder we used to call it in the olden days when everything was black and white, but we were very happy, Simon.
You're really coming into your rhythm in the second half, David, I'm going to say.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm here for another 30 minutes. Ball Mapor now. Maybe just hung on to it a little bit too long there, trying to tease the Parah Hills Knights player forward in Kyle Marley McFall. And it goes out for a throw on the far side, which has now been taken. Here's Mapor again. And the appeal from the Parah Hills Knights bench for a free kick, and they're given that. Not because they appealed, but because it was a free kick, Simon.
Just thinking, although those goals for Croydon did come a little bit later in the first half, they might want to get their skates on here because we've gone over the hour mark. Still 2-2, and they haven't. I think they've been less threatening in this second half than they probably were 15 minutes in the first.
Large free kick into the middle. It's flicked on, punched away. Siani, the player, with a flick on there for Parah Hills Knights, and they still press. Here's Kyle Marley McFall, gives chase, but the ball goes out.
It's probably a little bit more panic than we've seen Danny Margouche tonight, and a little bit more generally. Forced to punch away.
If you just joined us, 60 minutes gone. It is 2-2 here between Croydon and Parah Hills Knights. This game is brought to you by the RAA. Chat to a local who backs you and your team. It's better to be a member with the RAA. Ulaj wins the ball there. That's a solid challenge. Both players go down. He's going to have to pull play up there. That was a solid challenge, and Ulaj.
It's a really heavy collision, and it seemed like a friendly one. I think they were just running towards each other full clip.
James Polly's the other player who's down. But yeah, as we look in the replay, that's.
I think Polly had a bit more time to brace himself in there, and I think Ulaj came off second best.
Both holding their heads actually there, so play immediately stopped. Dear me, if that'd be me, I'd have to lie down for about 3 hours.
I might have to roll you off the pitch.
Oh yeah.
That was a big collision. Well, I think Polly's sitting up now, but as I said, I think Ulaj got the worst of it, but he's just sat up, but he's looking sorry for himself at this point.
These two have met 58 times in the league over the years. Croydon have won 30 of those games, Parah Hills 13, and there have been 15 draws. The last time they met in 2025, Croydon were 4-1 winners. And you have to go back 6 meetings to February 2020 to find Parah Hills Knights' last victory in this fixture, which was a 2-1 win back in February 2020, before COVID was a thing. Remember COVID?
I try to forget it, to be honest, but I do remember that, unfortunately.
Anyway, we're 6 years on from that. Parah Hills Knights, of course, did have a bit of time down in the State League 1. In the meantime, won promotion 2 years ago. Came up with Croatia Raiders, who last year went back down.
Just having a bit of a look at the field too. Ulaj is back on, and I did see a couple of subs getting ready on the Croydon side a moment ago. So I wonder if we may see another change on the way.
Samuel Adejo conceding that free kick on this near side, as we saw in the replay there. Kelvin Kamburu makes his way into the middle, but the free kick's going to be taken by Martinello. It's nice, it's into the middle, and it's cleared. Alan McFall, the player again who does that job. Jordan Caruso in the corner, wins the ball, but plays it straight to Ned Stiles. Not sure what that was all about. Here's ball Mapor. Thomas Greco, nice little roll with his feet. Mapor takes over, gets a shot in the middle, and a little tap in, beautiful little flick. And Luca Trimboli is the player who makes it 3-2 for the Croydon FC on 65 minutes. Croydon into the lead. Simon.
We're going to be seeing a lot of that name, Trimboli, even if it's spread over 2 players on the score sheet this year. That was an interesting little lead up to that one. Bol Mapor even getting involved with the action, but it could have caught Trimboli by surprise there, but managed to control the touch, put it into the back of the net as we get ready to see the replay. Greco with a valuable little touch to offload it to Mapor before he centred it. I don't think Greco played it to Mapor actually, but Mapor grabbed it and found his intended target in the middle. Well done to Croydon, and they found themselves in front for the first time tonight.
Parah Hills Knights, as we stop for a drinks break, guilty of giving the ball away, I think, too easily in defence again. This was a criticism I had of theirs in that first half. I felt at the back they're doing enough, but when they're clearing, they're not clearing their lines well. They're generally giving the ball straight back to Croydon, and we're guilty of giving it straight to Ned Styles there, and then Greco took over, then Mapor took over, and then Greco took back over, and then the ball into the middle for Luca Trimboli's finish, which was all class, let's be honest. But Parah Hills Knights maybe undoing themselves, to be honest.
Having said that, though, the earlier goal was against the run of play, so they are able to turn the tide of Croydon. But yeah, you do get a feeling just as time goes on that it's only going to favour Croydon. You mentioned before that you chatted to Tony Sacker on the off-season. He said the fitness is looking good, they're playing together really well, and we'll get to see the fitness side of things play out over the next 20 minutes, given it is still very, very muggy out there.
And you do wonder as well, Croydon have lost a few players over the close season. Andre Carl, Jared Brazal, Lachlan Doherty, Tumba Kalua, Junior David, and as we mentioned before, Maya Hisamoto, all those players gone. So I think Cato's shown enough tonight to show that he will blend in well enough to this team. We have seen obviously Oliver Trimboli maybe squandered a few chances in the first half, but he'll put that behind him now, won't he?
I wouldn't be too concerned about that at all, just because the way he can find himself in dangerous spots. I'd say after he's missed a few, he might be due to get a few after. So I think he's shown that he's able to be so dangerous, especially during the first half with all those near opportunities he had. I wouldn't be concerned about that at all. I think we're going to see a lot of goals from him.
And there he is there, wearing the number 12. Certainly made an impact since coming on. Scored last week in the Cup against Bunton as well. There's a funny back pass for you. Fusco clears. And again, Parah Hills Knights not able to hang on to possession, but Mark Ulai has it now. He places the ball on the ground.
They were coming forward with some ferocity there. For a moment I forgot which way Parah Hills were kicking, but they were just trying to back pass, so it sort of shows the panic a little bit that Croydon has got him under at the moment.
That can happen, you sort of forget what way they're shooting, and that happens because there's some disarray in terms of the lineup. But here's a solid run down the right hand side now. Alexander Good makes his way in the box. Solid run by the youngster. Luke Klimek now makes his way over to take the throw in, but Alexander Good won. Decent crowd there, as you can see. Certainly in this near side there's a lot of folk out, which is great given that there's a fringe on and a number of other events. Simon, I believe the rock and roll group Pulp are playing in the city as well tonight. Here's Klimek now at the edge of the box. He's got a bit of space. They've given him the space. He gets his shot in. Blocked by a Kakpo, but here they come again. Where is the player that clears? And that's a Ned Styles special into car park 4.
Yeah, I know you were disappointed that you missed Pulp. You've been talking about that all week, but at least we're seeing some goals tonight.
We are indeed, yeah. And who wants to live like common people? Not me.
I can't wait to see what the next 21 rounds brings from you, Dave.
Yes. Yes, indeed. No, I mean, to be fair, it's a hot night and people on a Friday could very well just have gone and done something else, given that there is a car race in town, there's the Fringe in town, there's the Free Pulp concert in town, and yet we have got a decent crowd in front of us here in the main stand. A little quiet maybe in some areas on the other side, but this main stand's nicely filled. There's a lot here.
Yeah, I think Really like the layout here, how you got a lot of the action on the same side here with the stand, and it really creates a space for people to congregate. So you get this nice little bit of atmosphere. You probably can't see it on the camera, to be honest, because the camera's sort of on top of where all the crowd is, but it's a nice one in. Johnny was chatting to the Prez before, and he indicated he was very happy with the attendance tonight. On a warm night too, the bar takings are probably looking healthy as well, which is always nice.
Yes, absolutely. Don't forget, folks, there are more games tomorrow. 5 of them at various times. Check your local guides. You don't have to watch them, of course. Maybe get yourself out to the ground. The RAA National Premier League South Australia is well and truly underway. Round 1 is upon us. And we've got a full season to look forward to.
Yeah, there's some good ones to check out tomorrow. You've got Comets and Burkalla at Ellis Park. Campbelltown are going to be hosting Metro Stars, a little bit of northeastern suburbs Italian derby, and that was very well attended for the season opener last year as well. So, as you said, of course, you can catch the action of FSA leagues, but even better, get out and support your local team.
Free kick there, taken by Sko Siani. It lands straight in the hands of Daniel Margush. "18 minutes left of regular time in this round 1 match between the hosts and the holders of the South Australian title. Came third in the ladder last year, but had a raucous time in finals, winning all 4 of their games, including, of course, the grand final, that memorable grand final, when Andre Curl's glancing header from a Passia John cross was enough to win it and break the hearts of Metro Stars. But this ball comes into the middle. Suggestion of a handball there. Jackson Merritt. Big appeal here from the locals. Not given. Croydon still have it. Ball comes in from the left-hand side. Alexander Good makes his way here. He's not going to quite get to that.
Well, the crowd have finally found their voice, David. I've got to say, after hearing them do a little pop now, I'm thinking, where were you guys in the first 3 quarters of this game? They're making their feelings known on the near side.
There's a sprint here. Balmaport strong in the ball. He has lost out. James Polly was back there to help him out. As Daniel Bradshaw Scott raced down and goals. And we've got a clear down the cramp. Dr. Kyle Marley McFall assisting there.
Three minutes, not surprised that there's some tired, possibly crampy legs out there.
Samuel Adejo, the victim there, or the patient, depending on your perspective. Back up on his feet. Gives the ball back there to Jordan Caruso on that near side. Here's a little half chance. Daniel Margush ends up with it though. Throw in on the far side. Croydon have the ball midway inside their opponent's half. Styles leaves it back to Klimek. Now they come forth. Doherty goes inside to Santana Bartkowski. That's a nice little playback. Here's Doherty again. It's stuck under his feet. Still gets his snapshot in. Lachlan Fusco collects.
That was a stylish lead up until that point, wasn't it? Doherty just tripping over it a little bit there, but it was a beautiful chip. Parah Hills have stepped up the intensity.
A little chip over the top by Adejo. Finds Bradshaw Scott. But there's no one much in the middle for Parah Hills Knights. They've sat very deep. You can see, maybe just off camera, that a lot of their players hadn't followed up in that attack. It's a warm night. Maybe that's starting to play a factor now.
Yeah, a couple of players look like they're breathing pretty heavily. Sammy Adeo was looked like he was sort of feeling like his legs were a bit heavy and taking some deep breaths then. Two white shirts in front of him for Parah Hills.
Here's Caruso now with a little cross into the middle, dealt with by Polly. Eventually it goes out of play behind Alexander Good. And it's a throw in for Parah Hills Knights. Emmanuel Wary with it. He goes down the line. He's looking for Bradshaw Scott. Ball goes out. It is a corner, despite the attentions of Adam Martinello for Croydon. Parah Hills Knights currently 3-2 down after being 2-0 up. 14 minutes to go.
Yeah, I do think that a lot of the action was front-loaded though, David, to be honest. It seems like it's sort of slowed down maybe over the last 10 minutes or so, and yeah, that could be something to do with this big, warm, humid night here in Adelaide.
Here comes the cross. It's poor, it's to the near post, and it's easily cleared by Luke Klimek for Croydon. Parah Hills Knights still have possession. Jordan Caruso now plays it to Christ Akakpo. Back to Caruso, and it goes over to the far side. Wary. Emmanuel Wary comes inside to Kai Blomley. There's a little half chance. Santana Bartkowski chases, goes to ground. And I think it's gone out for a corner, but play's been pulled back. As we see the replay here. With a late challenge on Kai Blomley. He's a tough lad though, he's back up on his feet, Simon.
He'll live to play another day, fortunately for him. And he'll have to, because they got a corner to defend now. Parah Hills, as the time goes on, it looks more and more likely that they won't find the equaliser. Then again, we thought it was unlikely that they were going to hit the score sheet twice at the start of the game, David.
That's true, and only 3 or 4 months ago you watched them pull 2 goals back after 90 minutes to draw with Metro Stars. Here's that Croydon corner now. It's easily cleared by Ulai. Goes to Styles. Styles chips it over the top. Everybody's been caught off guard. Good gets a little snapshot in. It's held by Fusco.
Just seems like a lot of time in Croydon's hands forward there.
Yeah, I think they were maybe surprised at the time and space they had.
At this point, Parah Hills looking like they're a little bit out of ideas as they try to play it out from the back. That seemed like a very cheap turnover going in the favour of Croydon.
I see that when a team is in possession, either of them in possession, there's a little bit of a lift in their pace, but if they haven't got the ball, they drop off. That's what I'm seeing on both sides. You know, if they haven't got the ball, they're content just to sit back and, you know, conserve energy. It is a very warm, humid night here in Adelaide. I also feel Parah Hills Knights might be a bit disappointed if they can't get something out of this. You know, they've come here as underdogs, and a lot of people have written them off, and they've played some fine football. They did have a 2-0 lead after 33 minutes. Now find themselves 3-2 down. Here's some Alexander Good makes his way into the edge of the box, still has it somehow, squeezes it out to O'Doherty. He leaves it, he knows he's offside. Klimek has it, crosses it back into the middle, and Oscar Slattery contrives to put that one over the bar by about 30 feet.
Not sure if that one was offside in the end because the flag didn't go up initially to the end, but I think that might have been the call for the goal kick.
Double substitution for Parah Hills Knights. Kai Blomley making his way over, as does Samuel Adejo. We've got 10 minutes to get something out of this, and now the substitute is really sprinting off. I think that's probably a sign of maybe some lethargy, tiredness in the legs. We'll get confirmation of the two players that have come on for you very soon. Back underway. Goal kick goes out though. Looks like one of the substitutes is Tega Ajeki. And the other one, Shante Mayall. Parah Hills Knights making two late substitutions. Eli with a chip over the top. That'll go all the way through to the goalkeeper, Daniel Margouche, and he collects.
Well, those two names that you just mentioned from Parah Hills, they're two names that I was a little bit surprised that they were left out of the side at the beginning here tonight, because Shante Mayall was one of the new pickups for Parah Hills. He's played for heaps of clubs from all around SA, including Olympic, including Adelaide Blue Eagles. He's got a long list of clubs that he's played for. So long I can't list all of them, as has Tega Ajeki. He's previously been the Player of the Year in 2017 and 2014.
Man, that's very good. Well done, Simon.
Oh, that was all off the top of my head as well.
Yeah, no, you've done well there. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you along tonight, Simon.
The feeling is mutual. Just another interesting fact to add to Tega Ajeki. He spent a fair bit of time playing in the Northern Territory as well. So I think the weather that he's going to experience during the last 10 minutes or so tonight, maybe he'll be laughing at it.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a warm night still, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It hasn't cooled off yet. Apparently the rains are coming, but we're just getting tropical unpleasantness at the moment.
Throw in taken into the box. Comfortably dealt with by James Pawley. Markulai on the far side wins the throw. Parah Hills Knights still have possession. 8 minutes to go. Can they get something out of this?
It looks like the long throw, I guess, trend that we're seeing has reached the RAA NPLSA in 2026 as well. Not so much that one, but that high one going into the box. There's the check out.
Goes back to Fusco, the goalkeeper. Ball goes out. Croydon throw. You know what, Simon? Chat to a local who backs you and your team. It's better to be a member with the RAA.
We love to support our South Australian companies, don't we? And RAA certainly one of them. And of course, a naming rights sponsor of this very competition too. So we love their continued support of Football SA.
And we appreciate it too. Good on you. Time now becoming somewhat of an enemy for Parah Hills Knights. Here comes the free kick, goes into the middle. Magoosh comes and he collects with confidence. Doherty now goes long. Dick Bow intercepts. Caruso has it. Feeds it to Signier. Siani finds Ulaj. And eventually Akakpo goes long. It's all becoming somewhat unimaginative by Parah Hills Knights. We do have a wee chance here. We only have one player up though. Solid strike, straight at Margouche, and he collects and says thank you very much. Only Daniel Bradshaw Scott in the penalty area on that occasion. Margouche now gets his ball out. He finds O'Doherty, but the play goes on there. That's been missed on the far side by Kakpo. Oscar Slattery has also missed it, and it's gone out. Throw in far side for Parah Hills Knights, which they take. Back to the goalkeeper, Lachlan Fusco. Hula now, bit of space in the middle of the park. His pass is behind his teammate though. And they lose possession again. Klimek now tries to pitch it forward. Hula now goes wide. They still have it, Parah Hills Knights, but they still only have Bradshaw Scott in the middle as an option. So even if they get up there, it's going to be difficult to get the ball to him. Hula now goes wide. Cross comes in. Again, too close to the goalkeeper. Margouche collects. 4 minutes to go.
It's good to see Parah Hills Knights still pushing to get an equaliser, even though some of the players are probably huffing at the moment. May as well push it to the end, because we said at the very beginning, these teams that are a little bit unpredictable, you know, they've got nothing to lose, so they may as well go for it.
Young Ned Styles is going to ground there. Cramp again. Don't forget, these guys are probably running 12, 13, maybe even 14 kilometres through the course of the 90 minutes. And as fit as you might be in these conditions, it'll take its toll. To be honest, Simon, I'll cramp up when I'm fast asleep.
Yeah, as you were saying that, I was thinking I'll have to take your word for it, because I'm certainly not running 12 or so Ks.
Lachlan Fusco now. Plays it out to Ajeke. Balmapor again wins possession. Finds Trimboli. Doherty gets his head to it. Finds Alexander Good. Can't bring the ball under. Will I can. And he finds Jackson Merritt, and he goes long. They still have the ball here. And again, Daniel Bradshaw Scott is the only target in the middle for Parah Hills Knights. And Croydon are back in numbers to defend.
Was that a shot or was it a cross? I'm not quite sure. I thought it might have been a cross, but it was one that would have never ever troubled someone with the experience of Daniel Margouche.
Headed back there under pressure by Emmanuel Weary. Kyle Marley McFall now. He's played well in that holding midfield role, hasn't he? Just sat in front of his defence. He's had a good run tonight.
And it seems Croydon are in game management mode at the moment. Margouche in no hurry to deal with that. Actually, I know we got the 8-second rule that takes effect this season, David, as well, which we got a little bit of education on during the week.
Yeah, we did. It was an interesting little presentation by Andrew Murray from the referee group. Of course, goalkeepers can hang on to the ball 8 seconds, a maximum, as Alexander Good makes his way down there. Looks like it's a corner. They have 8 seconds after they've brought it under control, so it might take them a second or two to get the ball under control, and then they have 8 seconds to release it, and if they don't release it in that time, a corner kick is awarded against them.
I think the important thing they said about that as well is the spirit of what that 8-second rule is, which is just trying to speed up the game. They're not trying to catch people off guard. So the idea is they're going to have plenty of warning to get things underway, and they really don't want to punish teams by giving away a corner kick against them, but if they need to combat time wasting, then that's what they'll do.
James Polly has made his way down to take this corner. Ushered along by Regis Quiflet, taking a bit of time to get there, but he's taking it now. It's going very deep. In fact, that will probably go all the way out. And it does. Still, the clock winds down. We are now past the 90 minutes and into injury time, Simon.
Well, I was about to say the 8-second rule doesn't apply to corner kicks, so they're happy to take their merry time in that instance.
Ball goes out. Croydon throw. And again, no rush to take it. There's about 6 players over there and none of them making their way forward, but throw-in's going to be taken now. Right in front of the Parah Hills Knights bench. Up it pops. It's won by Emmanuel Wary. Cleared by Klimek. Goes all the way through to Lachlan Fusco. He's going to go long. At least that's what he's indicated.
Well, when past the 91-minute mark, and if the last 2 times we saw these teams in NPL competition is anything to go by, we still might see another 4 goals or so.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, that's the beauty about this game. You know, anything can happen. Maybe not 4 goals, but I think anything can happen. We've seen it many times. I think a game's going to end one way and then a final twist and it goes another.
I took my dad to that RAA NPL grand final, and he's usually an Aussie rules man. And but you can bring anyone to a game like that when you've got late drama, and they can certainly appreciate just the highs and lows of those sorts of moments, those late swings. And again, that was Croydon's example of it, but you know, we bring it up yet again, round 22 with Parah Hills getting those late 2 goals to draw up against the league winners and secure their spot for next year's NPL. It's moments like that anyone can appreciate, neutral or not.
Well, there can't be much in the way of injury time to be added. We have had 1 goal in the second half. Just a quick reminder, Parah Hills Knights did go 1-0 up after 5 minutes on the One World LED Sportal scoreboard for all your indoor and outdoor LED needs. And they followed that up in the 33rd minute. Second goal. Here comes Alexander Good now. Shot comes in, but it's held by Fusco. Parah Hills Knights did go 2-0 up in the 33rd minute. Then Yuya Kato scored. Pulled one back for Croydon in the 35th minute for Oliver Trimboli. Equalised, making it 2-2 just on the interval. And then in 65 minutes, Luca Trimboli made it 3-2 for Croydon. That's the only goal we've had in the second half, but it looks like it might be the crucial one, the critical one, the decider no less. Corner for Parah Hills Knights, perhaps their last chance.
Here they come to make a liar out of you.
It's a decent corner. Regis Griffith calls for a new ball. That one's gone beyond the reaches of even the ball boy.
Looks like there has been someone behind the goal at attention. That's picked up that ball. And again, in no hurry to take this is Daniel Margush.
Margush does take that. Alexander Good wins it. Tries to play in Trimboli. Martinello pushes it out wide, finds Alexander Good. He plays in Trimboli. Wary maybe gets the better of him. Wary somehow gets away with it. Fusco plays it nicely to Jackson Merritt. Oh, Jackson Merritt's giving it away. And here's a shot by Bartkowski. Not much power behind it. And straight at Fusco, who collects and boots it into the night sky. We would have said that'll come down with snow on it, but not tonight. Still 33 degrees out there. Good. O'Doherty. Klimek. There's Ned Stiles. And we'll go all the way back to the goalkeeper, who clears. Stiles looked like he really wanted that. Caruso, not so. Santana Bartkowski now loses possession there for Marley McFall. Parah Hills Knights come forward. Still they come forward, but again a wayward ball. Croydon have it. We're now 6 minutes into injury time. I'm a bit surprised at that. I don't think we'd had much in the way of stoppages. We have had a few people down with cramp, haven't we?
Yeah, I guess we have, but I'm on your side with that. 6 minutes is a little bit surprising to me. Maybe Regis Queflek just making double sure that no one can be the beneficiary of.
He's blowing his whistle now, Simon. And some fireworks there, and I think maybe a sense of relief around the ground there from the crowd, I think.
I think so, and
maybe not so much a celebration as a sense of relief from the Croydon bench there. You can see the coaching staff making their way over to shake hands with their counterparts in the Parah Hills night side, and I think Croydon are probably looking back at that game thinking, well, thank goodness it's over. We've got the first one behind us, and we've got the 3 points in the board, and maybe that takes a little bit of pressure off them, but it was harder maybe for them than they were expecting.
It was, and even I think the reaction from the players on the field as well after the full-time whistle, it wasn't really, I mean, you'd expect Parah Hills to be looking pretty tired, and as soon as that whistle went, they kind of just rolled over, and a couple of them sat down on the turf. But even Croydon looks like they were very much affected by the conditions today. It was a tough environment, but they've got it out of the way round one, and for Croydon, it's one on the board to back up last year's championship season.
Well, we might cut down to Johnny down on the side there. It looks like he might have the captain, Luke Klimek. Johnny, is that true?
Yes, it is very true. I'm here with the captain of Croydon FC, or Polonia, we must say as well, because what a win tonight. It was a hard-fought win. You went down 2-0 early on, but you managed to be resilient and fight on. How did you find it? It was a shaky start for you boys, but you managed to find your feet and get back into it.
Yeah, a bit shaky. I think a bit nervous. First game of the season. Yeah, they started well. Sort of caught us off guard, but yeah, to our credit, we rebounded, got it to 2 at halftime, which was crucial. You know, just that goal just before halftime.
And you got a few new boys in the squad as well. A couple of them scored on debut for the club. So how was it to have them into the squad, and how have they transitioned into this club?
Yeah, beautifully. Ollie and Yuya done really well. Ollie scored a fair few goals in pre-season. And Yuya's just finding his feet. He's missed a bit of pre-season, but yeah, he'll come good.
And lastly, you guys won the grand final last year. How confident are you about this year? I know you're not thinking about backing it up, but just you're going to be the ones hunted this year. Last year you were the hunter. This year you'll be hunting. You'll be hunted. Sorry. So how are you guys preparing for that?
I don't think we're favourites anyway. I don't think in most people's eyes we're favourites. Yeah, we won the championship last year, but most people don't predict us to win the grand final at the end of the season. So we'll take it game at a time, and then yeah, go from there.
All the best, and congratulations on the 3 points.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. And boys, I will go walk over right now to Oliver Trimboli. Scored on his debut for the club tonight. We had a conversation here last year. Ollie, good mate. Congratulations, you made your debut for the club tonight. Not only debut, but you also scored as well. How are you feeling to don the red and white here tonight and be able to score for the club?
Oh, it's an amazing feeling, to be honest. It was unfortunate that I missed a couple before that, but finally got my goal and couldn't be happier.
Not only are you at the club this year, but you're also alongside your brother. How proud are you to be alongside your brother on the park, but also get on the score sheet on the first game?
I know, it's amazing. Always loved playing with my brother. We've been playing together since we're about 8 years old. It's just an amazing feeling to be playing with him again and linking up and scoring some goals.
I don't know if you remember much of the night, but after the grand final last year, we're up in the club rooms just over there having a conversation. You were talking about you were currently in talks with the club and you're excited to potentially sign the contract. How great is it to sign that contract, and how have you found joining the club and transitioning?
Oh, it's been amazing, to be honest. All the boys have been so welcoming, all the fans, all the committee, all the coaches and everything. They've made me feel so welcome. Yeah, lovely club. Couldn't be happier.
And lastly as well, you scored with your brother, but also in the stands. I've kept an eye on him all night, and the 2 times I wasn't next to him, you and your brother scored, so I didn't get to see his reaction. But how proud would your dad be to see you both out here together, but not only together, but scoring as well?
Yeah, I think he'd be pretty proud, but I have a feeling he'll still be holding it over us with the goals he scored. So until we beat that, I don't think there's much to celebrate.
Beautiful. I'll let you go because I think you don't want to miss out on your first Hey Polonia tonight. So go over there, enjoy, and all the best, Luca. Sorry, not Luca. Ollie, sorry. It's the first of many to come. All the best, boys. Back to you. That was a great chat with one of the Trimbolis.
Thanks, Johnny. You did a good job down there. So we're just going to have a quick look at the highlights here. This was back in the 5th minute. That seems like ages ago, doesn't it? A penalty there for Parah Hills Knights, tucked away nicely by Marco Guerrera to make it 1-0 just after 5 minutes. And then we had a few Trimboli chances. He'll have forgotten all about them now, wouldn't he, Simon, having scored eventually. As Croydon looked to try and get themselves back into it. Parah Hills Knights hit them on the break, maybe a little bit against the run of play at that point in time. And a tap in, the easiest one he'll probably get all year for Marco Guerrera to make it 2-0 for Parah Hills Knights. And that was a bit of a surprise, I think, for pretty much everyone who was here. We weren't expecting that. Thomas Greco's shot that was parried there by Trimboli, and then Yuya Kato scoring in his league debut for Croydon to pull one back. So that was 2-1 at that point in time. Another Trimboli miss. He'll have forgotten about that. We needn't remind him. And then a top class save by Fusco, one of many tonight that he managed to pull off. And then that Trimboli goal right on half time, 47th minute of that first half, to make it level, to make it 2-2, and to get Croydon right back in it. There's another Fusco save. Would you say he was one of the best tonight, Simon? Would you put him in your top 3?
I'm not sure. I think he was certainly one of the busiest tonight. Maybe if you talk impact, you'd have to put his name up there because he was able to deny countless opportunities from Croydon. So I could understand the argument to put him up there. For me, though, you've got to put Oliver Trimboli right up the top, don't you? All the opportunities he had. Imagine if he was actually converting more of them tonight. It'd be incredible. But, certainly had his contribution to the goal tally tonight, and, was one part of that 3-2 win.
Yeah, and great to see Luca Trimboli getting that third goal there. We didn't talk about it as it played there, but a lovely little slip there to put the ball away. Again, I felt Parah Hills Knights maybe a little bit untidy at the back. When they were clearing their lines, they were often clearing it straight to the opposition, almost presenting chances for them. As we look at the full-time match statistics, 22 shots from Croydon, 8 for Parah Hills Knights, 9 on target for Croydon, 5 for Parah Hills Knights. The shots off target, we were talking about that at half-time. Croydon, all those misses probably in the first half when they created the chances, but just weren't clinical and effective in front of goal. So you can see there, 9 shots for them and 2 for Parah Hills Knights. We don't need to talk about corners and fouls, do we?
No, we don't. But just looking at it, I think Croydon probably have themselves to blame when it comes to those shots off target. There was ones that, on another night they may have converted. So, when you're talking about the ones on target, I think maybe that doesn't tell the whole story. Just so many opportunities for Croydon tonight.
Just one yellow card as well there. So there's your NPLSA Round 1 fixtures. Don't forget, folks, if you can get out and watch a game, don't just sit at home and watch it on the YouTube. Get yourself out to some of these games. Playford hosting Adelaide United at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Campbelltown City hosting Metro Stars, and a big one at 3 p.m. Then Comets at 6 against West Torrens-Burculla. And then there's 2 night games. Adelaide City 7 p.m. against West Adelaide. The revival of the old NSL rivalry, which I'm old enough to remember, if I'm honest. And then FK Beograd at 7:30 against Sturt Lions. So plenty to look forward to this weekend. And also, of course, we have the WNPLSA Round 1, Modbury Vista and Adelaide Uni and West Torrens-Burculla West Adelaide all hosting tonight against Football SA, Flinders United, Campbelltown City and Adelaide Comets respectively. Tomorrow afternoon at 4:30 at TK Shutter Reserve, Metro Stars are playing their opening game as well. Simon, a wee summary from you from tonight. Have you had fun?
I've had an absolute ball. What a way to get started with 4 goals inside the first half. Yeah, just a great start. It's the end of summer of football. It's great, warm weather. You get a great crowd out. It was fantastic. What a great way to kick off season 2026.
Absolutely. Well, folks, we'll hope to see you at some grounds, and if not, then certainly tune in to the FSA Leagues channel for all of your RAA, NPL, South Australia football here. Season 2026 is underway, and I've thoroughly enjoyed the first game of that round. There's more to come tomorrow. But for now, I think Simon and I are probably going to pack up and go home.
Sounds good to me. We'll catch you tomorrow.
Okay, see ya.